Welcome to the Perfect Your Purpose podcast, where my main goal is to connect with inspiring individuals across the country, allow them to share their journeys that have brought them to where they are today, and how they're living and discovering their unique purpose on a daily basis. I'm your host, Danica Tramburg. Today, I'm joined by Alison and Delia. They're founders of The Style That Binds Us, which is the original next generation women's media company and community, exploring the cross-section of style and culture. And two things that I just don't even love more are a mom and daughter duo and fashion. I always wanted to be a fashion designer when I was little. So you guys, I'm already in love with you two.
You're so sweet. We're excited to be here.
I am so excited to have you guys. So, your background to me is fascinating. I want to start with you, Delia. I have to say, one of the things that just stood out to me right away, I saw that you started your career in the fashion industry by interning at Versace and Barney's New York. And what does it look like to even break into great brands like that? Because I have to imagine it takes a ton of work.
Right. Yes. So let's see. I was in college and I decided that I was going to move to New York and work in fashion. And kind of like you, I'm from Alabama. You're from the Midwest. So it's like we didn't have connections into the industry. I didn't know what the roles were, not only what the roles were, but what's going to be right for me. So through a lot of networking, thankfully, my aunt's best friend's husband actually was on the wholesale team at, as the Italians say it, Versace. And so I had a meeting with him sophomore spring, and he said, if you want to get into the fashion industry, these are a couple of different things that you should do. And I'm not going to give you an internship or a job. I want you to do all of them. I want you to apply to 20 or 30 other internships. So for next summer, you'll be prepared. So I started doing all of those things. And I had 7 interviews over a spring break. And I ended up choosing that one because in wholesale, basically what happens is Donatella, she designed the collection. And then it comes to Milan or the US, and the buyers meet. So after the show, and then they choose what items out of the full collection are going to be featured in the store. And that was so interesting to me because basically when you're on the wholesale side, you are explaining the inspiration behind her collection, which pieces they feel are the key pieces of the season. You're looking at past, present, and future selling data, all of these things. Yeah. And then the store creates the edit. And then Mom was so sweet and actually did help me prepare for the interviews, because when you're in college, as you know, searching for a job, let alone in an industry you know nothing about, is a full-time job in itself, and it's midterms and school and everything. So Mom helped me. I would say, okay, you research the history of Dior, I'll research the history of Chanel, and come back and report back. And so she can talk later about how she fell into the industry as well. But it was through all of those things. And on the Style That Binds Us website, under style tools, we have how to get into the fashion industry resources, so that basically I can be a resource that I didn't have when it was time for me to try and create a career.
I love that. And it's so amazing to see women who, one day were in, probably that now women that are younger than you guys, you were in their shoes, and knowing that they have people to look up to and that can help them. I think that's just the most wonderful thing, because that's what we're all here for, right? Like, we're all here to help other people. And it's not just, okay, I made it, like, sayonara. It's like, no, exactly. Now you have the gifts and the ability to help someone else follow in your footsteps. And I always say there is enough room in this world for every person to be successful.
That's exactly right.
You do not need to be jealous or compare or think that someone else is going to steal your spot, because we're all so unique and wonderful, and we all serve our own purpose. Absolutely. So Alison, let's hear from you. How did you get into this industry?
Well, like Delia said, I had been a teacher early in my adult life. I was a early education teacher, and I loved it. But then when Delia left for college, I had free time, and I knew I wanted to do something, rather than wallowing in sadness, like, being an empty nester, find find a new purpose, find something that I really enjoyed. Did I want to go back to teaching? And I had loved it so very, very much. It was really fulfilling. But at this time in my life, I thought, I don't know, 15 new children that think I'm their mother. There's so much to be in a kindergarten. I mean, it's just delightful. But I thought, I think at this age, maybe I want something a little more glamorous and to be around other grown-ups.
Yeah.
And so in the meantime, Delia decided to take this career path, and she was at a hard school. And so she and I loved any excuse to come up to New York. So we would meet in New York. I felt like a stage mom. I think maybe you've had experiences on stage before.
Oh,
Danica,
yeah.
right?
My mom was a total momager. So yeah.
Exactly. And so I had never been that before, but she said, you've got to help me figure out these brands, because when I go on these interviews, I have to know everything. So I started delving into that, and that was really, so much fun. And it sort of reawakened this thing that I'd forgotten about, that I loved, the arts, just the art of creating, and all of it was so fascinating and everything. And so that kind of piqued my interest. And then we got her settled. And then as I was thinking about different things that I wanted to do I want to be a travel agent? So I investigated that. And then I realized now it's mainly on computers. Obviously, as I told you earlier, I'm not super tech savvy. And other things, antiques. I thought about all these different things that I felt like would be fulfilling to me. And I tried them. I dipped my toe in, and none of them were quite the right fit. And so then I looked on the website for Fashion Institute of Technology, which is in New York City, which is a really, very well-known fashion college. Michael Kors, Vera Wang, so many people from the industry started out there. And I found out they have a certification process. So you don't have to go, like a full-time student, but you can get certified in image consulting. And I started out by saying, well, I'll just see what that's all about, and then the more classes I took and the more I looked into it, the more I really enjoyed it. And it was another way of teaching, which I love to do, but it was teaching older people than 5 and 6. And it taught me the science behind getting dressed. So it wasn't just that, you think, oh, well, I kind of have a knack. I can tell people that looks cute on you. That doesn't look so cute on you. That's not what it is at all. And the way that I do it is not about you get 3 outfits for a certain cost and stuff. It's more about the science behind the brain of the person that's looking at you. So it's when you first meet or whatever, it's the person that's looking at you that is coming up with all kinds of attributes for you that have nothing to do with the way you look, but they just assume, well, her hair is polished. It's not big and wild. So she's probably very controlled and gets to work on time. I mean, those are the kind of assumptions their brain makes, just from you having your hair brushed. I mean, it's really crazy. Right. So once I learned about that, and I also learned about using the patterns of your face as the shape of your eyes and the texture of your hair and all this stuff, that's all these pieces of the puzzle that come together to really help somebody hone in on the best look for them and what they are trying to get across to other people. Women have a lot of power that they don't realize. So that part really excited me, and that's how I began my career. And then the Color Institute was created by the woman who was the head of the department at FIT for image consulting. And it's sort of her strong point, her favorite area of helping people know what's best for them. And it's all about color, obviously. And it's it's really about the top half of your body. It's okay if you don't, it might be a color. The good thing about it is you can wear any color, but some colors you just don't wear near your face. But a lot of colors can bounce back up onto your face and give you that glow. And then there are other colors that can actually bring out your dark circles, bring out any imperfections or dots, pimples, anything like that you might have on your skin. It's really crazy that can happen. So, that's another tool in your toolbox to know what colors to go for and what not. So.
I'm just thinking I could have used you guys when I competed at Miss USA.
Right.
Well, I thought you probably, I'm sure you had a lot of advice about all of that
We
from doing
did.
that
Yeah, we did do like the color.
for
I
now.
guess I wouldn't even know what I would call it necessarily, but where they're like, I look really good in jewel tones. That's like something I went towards, or
Yes.
and even when it comes down to the eyeshadow that you put on your eyes, you have blue
Right.
eyes, I have brown eyes, or we're not going to put the same color on our faces. So it is so
Right.
interesting. And I could see just your knowledge and expertise in the pageant industry with women, but not even that, just women going into interviews and feeling confident in themselves. And
Lots of interviews.
yeah. So when you're working with someone, I gotta imagine you're pulling out so much more than obviously surface level things. So, what are some of those other things, and you can both answer this, that, you see in women when you're helping them?
Well, I think the main thing is, it's on an individual basis. For example, if you were going to go on your interviews for a pageant, that would be different than if you were going on an interview for banking, or if you were going on an interview for a tech company and stuff like that. So we really hone in on body type, style, aesthetic, lifestyle, price point, all of that. And then what it is you're trying to accomplish and who you're going to be speaking to. And that's important too, because your look might be completely different, for one
Mhm.
occasion, than another occasion, depending on who you're going to be with. So we go through that. And then when I get the individual that I start working with, once we have all those pieces of the puzzle, we create sort of like a plan going forward. And we talk about all the things that I mentioned. And then we go into, do you have texture in your hair? Do you have straight hair? That has a lot to do with the fabrics that you wear, believe it or not. And the shape and size of your facial features have a lot to do with the print, and the contrast between your hair and your skin tells you a lot about the print you should be wearing. So there's a lot of those things. And then by the time we go through all of that, you have a pretty concise plan that really helps you shop more efficiently, and also knowing which brands work best for a certain body type.
Mhm.
If you have a certain body type and here's your budget, I could pretty quickly, it can save you a lot of time
Yeah.
coming up with all of that. And then we have a lot, we try very hard to concentrate on pieces that are versatile and functional, multifunctional, things that you can switch up and wear day and night, so that you can truly have a fairly small core wardrobe. And then you just get to have fun bringing in, the icing on the cake. But this core wardrobe, you can travel, you can, get dressed for every day, just your everyday
Mhm.
sort of uniform. Is really I don't like the word obviously at all, but it's sort of your go-to things that you're going to be fine. You put those on, that kind of thing. And then
Mhm.
a few, cocktail looks and all
I
of
love
that kind of
that.
stuff. And it's the most fun that I have. The two things that I enjoy the most about my job, one is and a lot of times women, by the time we start working together, they're pretty frazzled. And I can tell they're self-conscious, because you can imagine having someone come into your house, into your closet, and see you,
Mhm.
if you're just like in a tank, and your jeans or whatever, there's things you're not thrilled about.
Yeah.
You're just burying yourself for this
Yeah.
other human being. And so they're uncomfortable, they're sort of downtrodden. And then when that moment comes, when all of a sudden they're looking in the mirror and I can just see this look like, I remember you. I mean, every time they do it, it gives me chills. It's like, now they're in the game. They remember what it was like before the career, before the
Mhm.
kids, before the whatever, just that when they were just them. And so I love that so, so much. And watching them sort of after that, they're like, I'm all in. This is so fun. I'm so excited. Let's get going. And then the other thing I love, this week, I had a couple of women in from out of town, a small group of women. And I set up shopping experiences for them. Delia and I set up the shopping experiences. We match that with the people too. What are they looking for? And it's beyond rewarding to match a young brand or a designer, young or established, with a woman or a group of women, and the women get to learn the designer's story, and the designer gets to know the women who are wearing his clothes. And it's a very joyful experience for everybody. So that's when I forget that I'm working. And Delia always reminds me, and what is your commission, or what is your so-and-so? You know, you can't live on joy alone. But anyway, so that's how I do that part of our business.
I love that. Delia, what's your favorite part about just working with women that you probably meet from all over the country?
Yes. So let's see. So I'll say there's 3 aspects of the business. So mom has her style consulting. So that's the things that are separate. And then I work with emerging brands and help them understand wholesale, and then also create direct to consumer strategies. So those are the only things we do separately. And then the platform with the content, that's something that we do together. So with the brands,
and the events, we do that together.
We host events with brands. It's incredible. I know we're mostly talking about style today, but basically fashion is a global business. So I literally this week have been on the phone with people in Tel Aviv, Ukraine, London, I mean, the times, India, like it's insane. And it's so rewarding to me to be able to meet someone and understand, okay, what are your goals? And then how can we work together to achieve them? So whether that's mom individually with a woman to create her style, take the stress out of getting dressed, and really understand the power and step into that. You truly would not believe the reaction that people have when you thoughtfully put together an outfit. I did not use this as an experiment at all, but like recently, last week, I went to a networking event and people were like, well, hello, hi. And it's so easy. I mean, you don't even, it doesn't even take that much work. Once you get to the place where you have that core wardrobe, you have the statement pieces, you're kind of like having so much fun picking out an outfit, and then you go out and about and you're feeling very confident. So the thing about our business and job, we get to support creatives, women, brands, self-confidence, empowerment, all of these different things. And we support the brands and we support the women. And then we also get to bring them together.
That's so cool. It's such a probably rewarding moment when everything just comes full circle.
It really is. And when I realized with my clients, you know, usually people don't come to someone like me if they are fashionistas. They come with something, you know, they can't do something and they need my help. And it's usually, it's a lot of things, but a lot of times it's their size has gone up, it's gone down. They're older like me, and so they don't know what they're supposed to be wearing now because they don't want to dress like their mothers necessarily did, or you know, they're really petite and they can't find any clothes, or they're really tall. You know, it's all these things. So we both feel, and then Delia's history with Barney's, you know, was obviously the top of the top, and the industry, she was very happy there, but you know, the reputation of the industry as, oh, we're too cool for you, you know, you can't join in. Barney's wasn't necessarily like that, but the idea of it was. And when she got there, she was like, well, if I can be here, then I want everyone to be able to come along and go to the shows with us and learn about these fabulous brands. So, you know, the term inclusivity and female empowerment, all these things started popping up after we started our business, you know, transformation. And now it's like, well, we need to come up with new words. We've been doing this, you know, before it became a thing, but it doesn't want to sound like, you know, it's a tagline. Oh, and we're inclusive. Oh, and we care about sustainability. You know, it's like that was from the get-go, our mission for the company.
I just kind of, this question came to me just hearing you guys talk about like just more than what meets the eye, I think. So, you know, the deep down of who a woman is and everything. So when I was in college, I loved to I loved putting outfits together because it was fun to me. Clothes were just I just loved clothes. I loved the texture of them. I loved putting things together and accessorizing things. And so every day I would go to school, I would get not like dressed up, but I would just put an outfit together. to feel good. And I just am not
Mhm.
someone who would go out of the house in sweatpants. It's just not me.
Right.
And I
Right.
have a roommate who always wore a sweatshirt and sweatpants, and I
Mhm.
didn't care what she wore. It didn't affect me, but
No.
she would always say to my other roommates, like, why does Danica have to dress up every day? Like, I'm like, I don't know how that affects you, but whatever.
Right.
But I think that is also like another end of the spectrum is how do you, what would be your advice to someone who almost feels like when they dress up, they're too much? Like, is there ever a level of that? Do you know what I'm saying?
I do have clients that say, I don't want to look like I tried too much,
Yeah.
but Delia really is the best person to answer this because what would you say to that, Delia?
Well, first of all, fashion is your nonverbal communication to the world of who you are. So before you even open your mouth, as we were mentioning before, people are thinking things about you and assigning different characteristics, and you have power in how they perceive you, basically.
Mhm.
And so it depends on confidence of how big you want to go,
Yeah.
like this event that I went to, I was wearing a paisley dress with tights and my favorite boots and this it's not furry, feather, and the feather
Oh.
bolero jacket. So it was definitely extra to
Oh,
go
that's
to a
beautiful.
networking event for sure. But I was going to be wearing my mask, and I
Yeah.
wanted to detract from the fact that no one else was going to be wearing a mask. And I was, because I don't want to get Omicron.
Yeah.
And I wanted them to look at my outfit, hopefully, which
Yeah.
was a success. And everyone said, oh, you have such a fabulous mask. So it depends confidence wise of like,
Yeah.
you are going to get comments, but that is an opportunity to have a conversation maybe about why you chose your outfit or your favorite piece of the outfit or a new brand that you're excited to talk about. So also just not caring what other people think. It makes you feel good and you're going to be able to accomplish your goals. You're going to wear the outfit to the date or to get the guy or to get the promotion or whatever. So I don't
And
know.
we feel like, especially Delia is definitely like this. Well, I feel that it's better to be overdressed than underdressed.
Right.
And Delia feels like, why not get dressed even when you're at your house by yourself? I mean, why not? Just because it's fun and it makes you feel good. If it makes you feel good, I hope, I know you would wanted to say to her, I don't do this to make you feel funny, or, it's fine if you like your sweatpants. Not sure why, but I'm trying to get everybody out of their sweatpants, but I do understand because it's comfortable.
Right.
But you get out, as you know, from your pageant experience and everything, what you put out into the world, you get back. And if you are shiny and happy and not making other people feel bad, but going about your life looking and feeling good, then it just kind of, I watch how people respond to Delia when she walks in a room. She's dressed up, but also she has this big smile. And here we are in New York, and she's like, hi to her friends. And they're all like, my God, I feel like a celebrity around you, because, it's just, put joy out there. And your feelings will get hurt sometimes because there are people that are a little jealous and feel like, oh, I want to look good too, but I don't want to try so hard. Why does she always show up looking so cute? That kind of. It's really just because you enjoy it, and you're, it doesn't mean you're shallow or anything. That's the other thing. Sometimes I have professors and people like that, and they do not want anyone to think that they are shallow because they care about the way they look. And we have to get past that. It's really about creating, dictating how you want people to perceive you, and also what makes you feel good. I think with all this cancel culture, whatever this stuff is, it's like people are scared to do anything the least bit different again. We've become such a judgmental place that it's too much. I mean, no one's has the nerve to say anything or wear anything or do anything the least bit different. It's a really scary place because of that. So, to get back to that, you do you, that's
Yeah.
just kind of, I have so many clients that I just want to say, just let it go, just try and enjoy life, and just, you look great, wear whatever you want, we all just need to kind of chill.
Right.
So
it is true. My last question for you guys is the style that binds us. I just love that. And I know there's got to be meaning behind it. So can you guys kind of explain how that came to be and everything behind it?
Delia?
Sure. So the style that binds us, originally, we were thinking about it as we're mother and daughter, and we're bound by the fact that we love fashion and style, and also by the fact that we're mother and daughter. And then everyone else has to get dressed every day. It is something that every single person, no matter if they're consciously thinking about it or not, we all put on clothes every single day. So that was originally how the style that binds us came to be. Mom came up with the name. We wanted maybe something to be a little bit provocative, or like, how do we tie in the fashion and the family and everything? But it ended up being the style that binds us. And during COVID, the meaning of style just got deeper and deeper and deeper. And truly, like, I did not get clinically depressed, but like, I knew that I loved, kind of like you, getting dressed up and going out and experiencing that. And when that was taken away from all of us, like, I can dress up for Zoom calls or whatever, but if you're really not leaving the house,
right,
that is such an enjoyment of life that was removed. So, Mom, are there any other meanings of style that I'm not?
No, I think, well, the other thing about the style is we always have to hone it back into fashion, but style is everything. It's if you're a person that responds to things visually, art, dance, good food, travel, just the beauty of life around you, including clothes, that is, that is what we have always been interested in. And so that's how it was created. We bring it back to, style has, it has to do with everything, for us. And so that's kind of the style that binds us. We were living in two different towns, and we just we would text back and forth, and we go, maybe, because, we're mother-daughter, so I wouldn't go, that's horrible. Or she didn't say mom, but we're trying to figure it out. And then it just sort of popped in, and I sent it to her, and she's like, wait, that one might work. And so we thought about it more, and then we started the trademarking process and all that kind of stuff. And also it's about binding. We so much want everyone to be in it with us. It's like, especially at my age, from the very beginning of this, I explained to Delia, and I don't know about your mom, Danica, but it's not normal not normal. It's very unusual to find someone our age that is interested in taking selfies and putting themselves all over the internet.
Right.
And starting a YouTube channel after 50, and, putting pictures of themselves on social media. It was really awkward and uncomfortable for me at first. And we decided that I would be comfortable doing it if I knew that everything we posted was helpful to somebody else. It wasn't just look at me in this. It's more like, this is a way you can wear something if you have no hips or large hips, or here's a brand that we think would resonate with you, everything like that. So it does have a lot of meanings.
I love that. And I think too, just, you do actually remind me a ton of my mom, and I admire her so much, because no matter what age, she's always been willing to go back to school and learn something, and, change careers. She was an EMT, and now she's went back to school like later in life, and she's a nurse, and, and all those different things.
Yes.
And I think that's just really, I don't know, it's just really inspiring too, that in itself, because it just shows other women that you're not stuck. You can always change. It totally does. I love that. Okay. Well, lied. I have one more question. What would be kind of your guys all over, like, mission and purpose, if you had to describe it?
To empower women to live their most stylish and fearless life.
I love it.
The style that binds us.
That is what we're all about.
I love that. All right. Can you tell? Can you tell everyone where they can find you guys online?
Yes, everything is called The Style That Binds Us. And so the Style That Binds Us website is a great place. At the top left has all the little icons of our different platforms and channels, but everything is under The Style That Binds Us.
Awesome. And you can do things through Zoom and everything. So no matter
Oh,
where
sure.
the individual is, they can reach out to
Oh
you
yeah,
guys.
definitely. And we each have individual Instagram accounts too, but that's just more kind of about our daily, what we're doing during the day and
Mhm.
things like that. But the Style That Binds Us, and you can DM, you can send in requests for anything. And we have an event list that we haven't even talked about, and we have a
Okay.
newsletter. So you can go in and sign up for all of that and look at the YouTube channel to see like how Danica's mother might wear a moto jacket and Danica
Yeah.
might wear one.
I
For
love that.
example, we do a lot of those kinds of things.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. It was a
Oh, it was
pleasure just talking
wonderful.
to you today. And I feel like we got some really good information, and I can't wait for people to hear this because I know that women of all ages are going to just love this information. So
Oh,
thank you.
all
Thank
right.
you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
And you can subscribe to this podcast and you can get it on any preferred streaming service.